All right. Well, good morning, dear ones. We are SOTU, and this is SOTUesday for the 28th day of March in 2017. And so many of you are in an energetic place where you are feeling the dynamics of, what shall we say, victory, of success, of having proved your point, of what shall we say, a sort of naive dynamic of victory. And we would say to you that you really need to understand the fact that you are being played. That you are being played emotionally, that you are being played through the dynamics of the reflections of your reality. For so many of you are in a place where you are not questioning things enough. It is a time for each of you to question all of your beliefs. And when we say all of your beliefs, we mean all of your beliefs. We wish to tell you, we wish you to question us. Question the things that we have to say to you. If you believe them, if they are true, then they become a part of your dynamic of experience. If you do not believe them, research them and see if they are not true. Find out for yourself. If you are interested enough. If you are not interested enough, you are setting yourselves up in many ways to be gobsmacked by the dynamics of soul. For it is the dynamics of soul that are primarily pushing you forward in so many ways. Now, there are so many levels in your reality, physically in your reality, emotionally in your reality, and even, dear ones, from a spiritual perspective, you are being pushed forward. The dynamics of your reality are demanding that you be more. The one thing, those of you that are trying to hold on to the status quo, that is completely counterproductive. And we realize that many of you, perhaps even most of you that we speak to on a daily basis, are, what shall we say, tied to that dynamic of status quo for your survival, for the dynamics of the survival of your family, and all of that. And so in many ways, you are emotionally invested in a certain dynamic of outcome, and yet we would tell you that neither of the predicted outcomes, either from either side of your political spectrum, will be becoming true. In fact, universe is intruding into your daily lives and will continue to intrude in your daily lives until you begin to answer that question for yourself and for others. Who do you wish to be? Stop. You need to stop, and you need to consider who you wish to be in the future. You need to understand that those of you, there are out there those in your world who are certainly, what shall we say, motivated in a very positive way, but are relying on the dynamics of the past to solve the problems of the present. And that is not going to solve anything. That is going to, in many ways, just continue to exacerbate the situation because, you just keep doing the same dynamic over and over again. Now, that's not to say anything that has to do with the personal, internal, emotional dynamics of negative ego, which basically keeps you in that place of creating negativity, which keeps reinforcing your beliefs that there is not enough or that you are not enough, or the fear that someone's going to take what you have amassed, what you have gathered away from you. There are many different manifestations of the dynamic of energy, but so many of you in the aspects of your daily life, in the things that begin to, what shall we say, intrude into your reality, the surprises, the things that seem to come from out of left field, those are the things that are asking you to step back and look at what's the metaphor. What could be behind this dynamic? What part of my unresolved emotional self is creating this situation? For when you have a dynamic of repeated emotional experiences, believe it or not, you create from those emotional experiences. Those in your world that fear the most, they wind up creating for themselves those things that they fear the most. You eventually, if you can give an unconfused enough message, manifest whatever you desire as long as you continue the dynamic in a repetitive sort of way. The thing about it is that there has to be a certain dynamic of morality, a certain dynamic of integrity behind it. Otherwise, the old dynamics of guilt, the old dynamics of less than, the old dynamics about self are those things that wind up intruding and making you doubt yourself and have you, what shall we say, dilute your resolve. And for many of you, there are a number of very good things coming down the pike. Those of you that have been involved in the dynamics of caring for others and caring about others will find the transformation quite easy. Those of you that have always put yourself first to the exclusions of others, and it's kind of like as this one's, the channel's father used to say, hooray for me and you. And there are many in your world like that right now. You need to have compassion even for them. You need to realize that each of you is a product of your environment. Each of you has been playing your part in the dynamic of the duality. If we just take the dynamics of what is occurring politically in the United States right now, you have been pushed into dynamics of a polarity of energy which really doesn't represent any of you. Is just an extreme representation of an energetic dynamic. There are truth and lies in both ends of the paradox. As we have suggested recently, take the time, take the energy, engage your frontal cortex, engage your more mammalian mind, the reasoning part of your mind, engage it, and begin to assess the dynamics of what you believe. And then, if you can be even objective enough, step back and make an assessment of how those beliefs actually manifest in your reality. You're going into a period right now, it almost seems like the universe has been taking your breath. But the next exhalation is going to be a cough. Be aware. Be aware of your environment in a physical sense. Be aware of your environment in an emotional sense. And be aware of your environment in a spiritual sense. Be aware that there are others right now aligning their energy in such a way as to make you very unsure about who you really are. We wish to remind you, you have a connection with the divine that cannot be broken. Each and every one of you, no matter what the legends are, no matter what you have been taught, you are all of the divine, as is everything on the planet, as is the planet, as is everything in the universe. And that would include those that you would consider aliens, and we are not talking about Mexicans, or those that come from other countries, other worlds. And these energies are just waiting for you. They're waiting for the wave of energy that is building in your world. And there are others out there that know this wave of energy is coming and are doing everything that they can to both sabotage and delay it. Your knowing of your movement forward, your knowing of growth, your understanding that your connection with the divine, which is within you, your connection with the source, your connection with all that is within you and will never be broken. All right. We are SOTU, and this has been SOTUesday for the 28th day of March in 2017. We love you all so very, very much. Think about what we said. Begin to question even your most entrenched beliefs. Hey, if nothing else, you could use the review. And so until next time we close, sending you peace, sending you happiness, sending you joy.